Hello, buddy. Welcome back to Tinmans Core Channel. I'm your host, Jeff from Tin Man Taylor. Today, I thought I'd get on here and tell you guys another silly and weird dream that I had. And this one, I ended up going back to school. And I had several dreams about that whole idea, but I was like, I'm not really interested, But in this dream, I woke up, ate breakfast, got dressed, and mom took me to our local community college because apparently I enrolled there for some courses. And once I walked in, I saw they had lockers that were from my old middle school. I was like, what in the world are these doing here? Because back when I was in middle school, each grade had different colored lockers. So orange was for the sixth graders, seventh grade had red lockers, and eighth grade had blue lockers. So once I walked in, I saw the orange ones, and then down the other halls, the red and blue ones were in there. Apparently, what I heard later that the community college ended up acquiring those from my middle school instead of spending money on new ones. And the middle school ended up getting placements painted the same way, just updated ones. But anyway, I remember walking to the administrator's office to get my schedule because they didn't give it to me when I enrolled. And I was like, okay, this one I got to go to first. And it was history. I actually had history class back in high school for like a few of my semesters beginning in the first period. So I said, well, that brings back some memories. And I'm kind of a history buff, so I figured it would be interesting to learn some new stuff that we didn't get taught over at high school. So went through that class. Then the next class, I remember taking math, and I was like, oh, God almighty. I don't want to take math, but I got to do it for this semester. Because apparently in my dream, I rolled in for like learning how to do fine art, like, paint stuff on canvas, similar to like Bob Ross or Van Gogh or one of these other famous artists. And in order to take it, I had to take all these other curriculum classes there too. And math wasn't really my forte, so I kind of struggled there at the beginning. They just did some basic math, but then they started getting all this crazy stuff, and I was like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. I could barely remember all that square root, how to calculate with, pi. Then the teacher noticed that me and a few other students had trouble with that curriculum, but they were kind enough to help us out with it. I said, that's what I like right there, teachers that are like one-to-one teaching. Got through with that class, and we had lunch period. The next period was science. I was like, oh crap, here we go. Because back when I was in middle school, I used to love science because I was a fan of, Frankenstein, Invisible Man, anything science fiction to do with test tubes and electricity and all that stuff. But over time, I'm starting to be like, okay, this is just too complicated. But anyway, I took the science course. It was difficult at first, but once you study up, then you got it, nail it. And then finally, I had a spot in between my third class and my fourth class of the day, so it was like free period. So instead of just wandering the hallways, I actually went outside, and they actually had set up, I'm not kidding, it looked like a playground for little kids, but it was set up for teenagers because they had like a rock climbing wall and one of those, I don't know what you call it, it's like one of those things you grab onto it like a park, and it just slides you across this beam and back. I said, oh wow, it gives me some upper core strength. And they had like one of those big dome things that kids used to climb up on. But sometimes I remember I got stuck in one over at this park next to the library in our town. Well, that's a whole nother story. But anyway, just moseyed around there, and I saw that they were going to have some kids that were in their PE classes coming out. So I said, I better get out of here before they either tease me about being a big guy and messing with the playground equipment. So I got all my stuff together, went back inside, and then sure enough, free period was over. Had to go to my fourth class, and the fourth class was English. Got through that class and got picked up and went home. And this kept going on until the semester was over, and I passed all them courses, which in reality I probably might flunk. But in my dream, I was able to get like 70s and 80s, which was still passing. So when second semester rolled around, I was like, oh yeah, I'm happy for this because I got my art course For first period, it was like standard drawing. Second class for the day was acting. I figured I might as well take some acting courses in that semester as well. So I got basic acting. And then lunch came, went to my third class, and that was another art class, believe it or not, but it was more about painting with paintbrush. And then free period again, and I ended up getting assigned to help out with some of these teachers in there to pass documents back and forth with each other if they're too busy. Sometimes help the librarian, and that counted as extra curriculum. Then fourth period class came around, and that was more advanced acting. So in this semester, I had 2 art classes and 2 acting. I said, now this is fun. Better than all the basic stuff we had to do. And I really got A's and B's in those classes because I enjoyed it. Until finally graduation came, ordered my cap and gown and class ring, got my diploma. Mom and Dad were just shouting, like, we're so proud of you, honey. And now you get to see me become an actor, maybe, and maybe a skillful artist. They said they were looking forward to it. Dad said he would really want to see me in movies. Then we got home to celebrate, and then I woke up. I was like, dang, that was a strange dream. I don't know why I keep having dreams where I keep going back to school. I'm not really interested in that right now. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications for more dream-related content like this. This has been another successful installment of the Tinmans Core Channel. I'm your host, Jeffrey Tinman Taylor. I said that's a wrap, and have a nice day. Oh, and let me know down in the comments if you guys had any dreams where you guys went back to school and what courses did you take. I would love to hear them down in the comments. Bye, buddy.